Coach, preseason for SK Rapid is in the books. Let's summarize it. How was it from your point of view?
Busy and intensive, but very, very important for our future development of the club and of the team. And I'm actually pretty satisfied with what we have achieved in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Coach, when I look at the games, I had the feeling that your team is more efficient on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, more efficient and also trying to take more initiative. I think that's probably the biggest difference now. That both on and off the ball we try to do a little bit more. We try to be faster when we have the ball. We try to be more aggressive when we don't have the ball. And when you put all that together, it gives also a game where we can hopefully control it as much as possible and be dominant as much as possible. And what pleased me to see was the last 2 performances against even better teams that we normally play against, and we could see that we could still succeed with our things against those 2 opponents.
Is that the biggest gain compared to last season? That even when you play bigger teams, even when you face adversity, that your team finds way to fight through?
Yeah, of course we have to test it also now when it starts to be competitive games, but we often talk about what's happening on the pitch and with the football team in training and games, but we've also spent a lot of time outside the pitch to build on relations and leadership and responsibility and going through different scenarios in games, how we handle pressure, how we handle conceding a goal, how we handle being behind with not too many minutes to go, and what we need from each other in those specific moments. So we've also worked a lot of things outside the pitch as well.
In German, you say the little things are coming together. That the big thing, that the big wheel starts to turning. Do you feel it that these little things that make the big wheel turning into the right direction are coming now together? That from a structural and from a prospective point of view, the future for Rapid looks better?
That's my ambition, and of course you always have to be a little bit careful when it's only a preseason and it's only test games, because it is always different when you play competitive games. But I think we all knew and we all saw that last season was about fighting to the end and just getting it over the line in a acceptable manner, and then this season have to be much better in so many ways. But for us to get better, it is details that we have to work on, and all these small things now seems that the players, they understand it, they feel comfortable in it, they trust the way that we do things, and they trust each other. And when we have that foundation, we are in a much better place to perform on a better level than we did last season. So I think overall we are positive at the moment, because we can feel it and we can see it.
Coach, the first opponent of the season comes from Andorra. They are a good team, but for you, it must be the premier goal is to reach the next stage. Would you agree on it that you are the favorite and that the only thing that matters is going through?
Yeah, quite simple as that. With that being said, it doesn't mean that we don't prepare the same way as we always do for games, that we don't have to play with the same professionalism and intensity as we always do, because the second you start to drop in those areas, that's when you start to invite the opponents into the game. So it's fair to say that if we play up to our standards and up to our level, we should be the favorites and we should go through.
The goal for the season, every minute of the first 22 games, give 100%. Then you to have 100% on the pitch, energy, structural, from the individual quality. Then you are satisfied, or do you need a certain position on the table which you say you have to reach that point or point XY?
No, the position is not that important, but the points are. So we have to be in a position where we are close to the top and hopefully be in and around it. But you also know that 1 point can be the difference between 2 or 3 positions. So the positions are not that important. It's the points that matters, and we have to start off already in 10, 12 days time with the first game of the league by picking up as many points as possible. And we only do that with good performances. And we need all the players fit, and we need all the players available for these lot of games to start the season with. But with the things that I've seen, and if we can manage to put those performances together for a consistent level, then we will also have enough points.
Coach, the World Championships is in the books. Spain is world champion. When you look back on the tournament, what will you remember?
I remember Spain, and I think it's well deserved that they are world champions. I saw a Spanish team where the team was the first priority in every decision on and off the pitch, and I'm just happy as a football coach that you also see that being successful at the end. I also appreciate all the stars and all the Hollywood glamour around this World Cup, because the kids also need some idols to look up to when they start playing football. But from a coach perspective, I'm happy that in my opinion the best team won the World Cup.
For me, quite impressive is Spain normally is a very offensive side, but when you look from the structural point and from the defensive point of view, it was hard to see any weakness. Did you find one?
I don't know if I found one. That's a tricky question, but it's not the first time we see Spain doing this. They have won before where they won a lot of games only 1-0 in the whole group stage and also the knockout stages, because they can defend with the ball also. And that's a big part of a World Cup or European Championship, that you don't waste too much unnecessary energy from high pressing all the time and running after the ball. They also decide to defend with the ball, which I also prefer, that if we have to defend as a team, we do it with the ball. But no, Spain has been a big inspiration for many years, I would say, both on and off the ball.
Coach, let's talk about the referees at the World Cup. There were some certain decisions and VAR decisions and interventions where you scratched your head and you thought, oh my God, what did they see? I think when you look back on these decisions and when you look at the Austrian referees, now you appreciate them even more, because their mistakes are a bit more human-like, not like the World Cup.
I don't think I see it as bad as you, because I also look at it from, of course I'm a football coach, but also just try to enjoy the game. And what I liked about the World Cup was how much the ball was in play and how much efficient game time we had compared to the Austrian League, where I think we've been too low in the Austrian League for a long time now. And I think I really like to see the World Cup and how efficient it was and how much action there was actually going on in the games. And with all due respect, because every team has their own strategy, but also to see a World Cup where it was not about too many long throws all the time, but the ball was in play and we actually saw football games for most of it. There will always be mistakes from referees if you have VAR and not, and there will definitely also be mistakes in the upcoming season, but I was happy about the game time.
A big difference were the captain's rule. At the World Cup, there were some scenes where I said, yeah, the captain's rules must be in place. In Austria, it's a bit more strict and the players are a bit more disciplined on that point of view. Would you agree on this?
Yeah, it is a big thing they have tried to implement for many years now. But of course, it's always difficult. It is football. You also saw yesterday in the final that it's difficult for a referee to handle with only a referee or only a captain being able to talk to the ref. It's impossible in some games, but I like it because I like that we try, or at least FIFA and the World Cup tried with many different things to find a road where we don't have to watch too many football games where there's complaining and there's all kinds of things going on that has nothing to do with football. All the ideas were probably not perfect, but I like the idea and I like the approach that we try to create a football game again where it's about playing football and not too many other things.
Coach, final question from my side. A very famous German coach said once, I've learned from every game that I coach, I learn from every game that I watch. What did you learn from this World Cup, and what maybe you can implement on your work as a coach?
There's many different things. I would say there was something about the high pressing from some of the teams I think was interesting, watching Senegal and Colombia in that regard, but also just overall analyzing how the chances were created, how the goals were scored, how the low defensive blocks were breaking down from teams. A key thing is that you don't have to attack the box with 5 or 6 players to score. A lot of goals were actually scored with less players in the box than the defensive team. Sometimes even up to 3 and 4 players less. But it's about running into the right spaces in the box that will give you the goals and the big chances. So there's always a lot to analyze, and it's different things you can try to implement. But you also have to be aware that you cannot copy paste anything. You have to look at your own team and see the strengths in that, and then find a little inspiration somewhere.
Okay. One question from my side. What do you think about hydration breaks?
I don't think it's needed. It's been in the football laws and rules for many, many years that if the temperatures are really, really high, you can do it. And I still definitely think we should keep it like that. That if we play very, very hot games, it's a possibility with a hydration break. But I also saw a lot of the games at the World Cup where it was definitely not needed. And I think we should get back to that. It's only an option if it's really, really hot. Otherwise, we should play 2 times 45 minutes.
Isn't it good for a coach to give more new tactics for the team?
Yeah, but it also killed the rhythm and the momentum in many games, which I don't think is the right way to do it. So I'm a big enough human being to watch outside of my coaching role and say I don't think it's the way we want to go in the direction of this sport. I think we have to keep it with 2 times 45 minutes.
And not a big fan of the halftime show either?
To be absolutely honest, I think first half yesterday was not the most interesting game to see. So the halftime show actually woke me up. So I think you sometimes you also have to be open to new ideas, and I think everyone can accept it and respect it if it's only for that World Cup once in a while that you do a little bit different thing. I think everyone could understand that. But now we get back to the Austrian League and European football. We keep it like normal with not too much halftime show going on.